I did speak to the FIA about this not so long ago. And the immediate reaction was, oh, it'd be much too difficult to do that, to allow the pole guy to choose which side, because they've got all the sensors set up on the grid for the pole being on the clean side. And I said, well, it's basically only one more place. Is it that difficult? And they said, well, no, not really. I suppose not. And that was it. That was it. It's always the way. When you push them a little bit further, they say, well, yeah, we could do that, but then nothing ever happens because it's it's hard work, I suppose, or whatever. I really think it'd be a great moment, actually. It's a bit like the toss of the coin for a match, tennis, golf, whatever. Not golf, tennis, cricket. When you're interviewing the pole winner, they say, right now, big moment. Which side of the grid are you going to go from? I think it'd be a great thing that they're missing, And I remember saying this about in the Eccleston era. I remember saying I think they're missing a trick in not enforcing that all the drivers go to the front of the grid when the national anthem is played for the country in which they're racing. And Bernie and everybody said, oh, what a load of rubbish, who cares about all that, get on with it, they don't want to do that. And so it never happened. And then sure enough, suddenly somebody presumably was watching my channel and said, yeah, it's a great idea, we should do that. And now everybody takes it for granted. I hope somebody's listening now when it comes to choosing which side of the road the pole winner wants to start from, because I think it's a great thing and we're missing a trick there. We should definitely do that. I mean, Max is the race driver, I'm not. And so it'd be very interesting to know what he would have done. And I'd like to have that conversation with him, actually, because I'm not sure that it's a question of reaction time or grip off the line in this case. It's more that if you make just an average start from the inside, you're going to be in pretty good position going into turn one in Saudi Arabia. That's all. It minimizes the downsides, if you see what I mean. And it's a good place to be. What you don't want to be is on the outside with a guy sort of on your left, even if he's not 100% alongside you, wondering whether you're going to cut across him or whether you've got to go around the outside of him on the first corner and maybe run a bit wide. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be on the outside of a corner ever in turn one if you can get away with it. Obviously, if you're starting, where Alonso starts, you try the outside and you do all that stuff. But if you're at the front of the grid, you don't want to be on the outside there. The same goes for most circuits, to be honest. Maybe Austin, outside's not too bad, but I'd still rather be on the inside. I think most drivers would if they're on the pole, wouldn't they? The other thing you would think about is who is the other guy who's now second? If it's Lando Norris, maybe you wouldn't be thinking the same way than if it was Oscar Piastri, if you're Max Verstappen. Or equally, if it's Charles Leclerc, you'd treat him a little bit differently than if it was Lewis Hamilton, probably these days. So, it also brings that into play as well. And when the pole winner decides which side he wants to go from, you say, well, why do you think that? That's a really good question to ask him. And he said, well, Lando there, old Lando, I'm pretty sure. Or Oscar, I know he's going to be down the outside of me. And whatever, it'd be quite good fun. And I think it'd be a good thing to do, actually.